people some time to course correct.
Just stand up and lay your bed. It could be as
exactly.
easy as
So
that.
they prioritize what's important to you part time. I do
Yeah,
them.
do.
They are the core of my routine.
When I'm entering a room, I'm looking at myself as very beautiful. So welcome back to the second episode of this particular episode. Continue from where we stopped the last time.
Welcome back.
If you are yet to watch that video, just tap this video up here. See just above our head. Yes, you just click on it like that before you start this one. It's quite important. So let's get right into this video.
Because I work in HR, so sometimes you meet people that can really, employees or people that can really speak to you in a very not so nice manner, and you want to give them back. As per, why are you talking to like that now? I'm not, because I'm HR, I'm not small in this life. Exactly, I'm not a mate. So, but at that point, you can't bring. That's very unprofessional for you to give that, to say that to somebody. So you are very angry, but you have to. The anger is there, but you can smile. Okay, I understand what you're trying to say. I hear you. However, this is what the situation of things on ground. This is what management is saying. I understand that you might be angry, but as HR, we're also trying to work around it, and we'll give you feedback. We also will implore that you please understand your husband's situation. We are here for you. There is no, because at that point, if you react to the energy, that's already solidifies as a culture. It's a behavior you will see times that number.
And some people are like that, even HRs.
And so exactly, they'll give back.
Sorry.
They'll give back that energy because that's what they are getting. But when you catch it and you're like, no, you adjust yourself. You're like, no, I can't give back this energy because this is not the culture I want to be established in the company. So you just smile. You're angry, you're foaming, but you're smiling. Like, oh, I hear you. But they insulted. It can be very painful. It comes with experience. It comes with a lot of emotional, and you find that when you do that, you are less. You don't hold grudges as much anymore. Things don't sit with you anymore.
You feel like the bigger person.
Not even bigger person. You feel lighter because you did not internalize it so much.
It's not always like that to me. Sometimes I'm angrier.
Yeah,
I'm like, I should have said it.
So sometimes it's like there are different contexts. Sometimes you have to be assertive and give face value, direct communication, and maybe a bit of bass, right? A bit of bass. It's not bad. There's emotion. You have to also know, but it's not
so like
you going out of your way to act in a very unprofessional way. You need to give it to people some time to course correct. You mark their head and in the way that you give it to them, but you're not unprofessional. You are saying it's direct communication.
Exactly.
It's not aggression.
It's direct communication.
It's direct communication.
Formally and
yes, for your professional again. Exactly, your professional again. That's not emotional regulation is not there. You just there's some injury that you have to scatter yourself for, but the one that you can at least regulate yourself.
It reminds me of regulate yourself. Did you see Blackbird? Is it Bird Box?
Yeah, is it Bird Box? The one that they tied their face.
There was one that you don't have to speak.
Quiet or silent.
Quiet. I don't know. I can't know. Similar. I had to go to Bird Box to come back in. Okay, so remember when the lady was trying to give birth?
That she stepped on a nail.
Even with how
because of what she knew was at stake.
That was actually it was called for. If she's shouting while she's in labor, that's normal. She should even shout.
Yeah.
But she could
not. She understood the consequences of.
So at the end of the day, we can control things.
Yeah, we can control exactly. Because we know the consequences.
What is
and again, and sometimes emotional regulation is not a popular thing. A lot of times, a lot of fighting, a lot of shouting. But because if you have a personal vision for your life. Away from you have big goals, but you have a vision for how you want your mental state to be part-time, how you want your person, what you're thinking of, the issues that we give attention to part-time. You need to always put yourself back to focus on what is important. What is at stake? What is important is for us to get the job done. So sometimes maybe there's an argument and it's escalating the issue. You emotionally regulate yourself that some emotions can over-escalate things that everything just scatters. You're not even solving the actual problem. So emotionally regulating yourself that coming back to, let's solve this issue. Maybe during the time you somebody called you mad. you shouldn't have come in mad. I understand. But you know, sometimes when someone can come in mad, you can fight, you can shout. And if the issue that you're supposed to resolve, if you even leave it, it goes on.
Forgotten what started the whole problem.
So
I remember
a time
recently, I was trying to have a meaningful conversation with somebody at my workplace. I was like, okay, what happened? Why? Why did you have to respond that way? I didn't like. Oh my god, I was trying to be so sane. So sane. I was so angry. I was holding myself. I was like, okay. I don't have any reason to be angry at you. So maybe something happened. I was just trying to rationalize the whole thing. Guys, this person did not see it. Like,
so I think, but that's why sometimes you always have to.
I left that conversation more drained. I was just like,
that engaging the person that way.
Serious. But now
it happens like that.
Surprisingly, we are cool.
So you see that sometimes because you are the maybe being the better person or bigger person, you have the ability to self-regulate. From your own part, there's nothing that they can really throw at you and be like, oh, this is you caused this. You were rational from the get-go. So from your own side, you know, it could have been worse than that. Yeah. But because one other party is regulating themselves, it makes, you know, when maybe an issue would explode into 100%, but because one party did not give it back, it ended like 50%. That does not mean that they did not escalate though. But the escalation is still low compared to if both of you now collide and you're shouting and everything will just scatter. There's no way of resolution again. Well, I mean, it's not a black and white thing. It's not a straightforward thing. You have to constantly see yourself, prioritize what's important to you part time. Prioritization, yes, important for self-care, for emotional regulation as well. Making sure your eyes on the goal, whatever the goal is to you, eyes on the goal. Like some people like to personalize things, or I used to be someone that used to put energy in many things. And it used to drain me because I would not have time to do my own personal things. So I had to make sure, you know, track myself as I know there's some issues that are not my business. So I'm carrying myself out of it. Whatever you say, even like shout, I'm not giving you a word. I'm going to block you off, stonewall you, give you whatever it is to protect because there's eye on the go. So you need to come. It's a personal journey.
Okay, so I'm going to point out the fact that we've established that our emotions really affect our mental health, and aside the mental health illnesses or conditions, the symptoms from some of these conditions are what we see in normal people's day-to-day. Though the difference might be the intensity. Now, okay, for this person it happens more, and for this person, it is just normal, maybe like occasionally. And now we've seen that, okay, when we don't control and regulate these things, when it becomes a constant, it starts becoming who you are, and you start to define yourself and identity with this. Could it be that some of these symptoms that people have, even though it is occasional, could it be that they have mental health condition?
For it to be a condition, there has to be patterns, like consistent patterns of similar behavior that are.
Sorry, what if there are no situations that actually made it, like that is yet to make it a pattern? You know, you mentioned earlier that where we come from sometimes affect, like our background, things we've experienced, all these things, it can be triggers. They probably establish such patterns. What if the person has not been placed in a situation whereby this pattern can exist?
So to answer your question, I think that environment also has a lot to play. However, I think that there's some things that regardless of environment are core to certain people. But sometimes your environment can enhance the symptoms and the patterns that you have. Or it can put it in a way, they can undermine it or make it, you know, not so intense like that because of, but it still doesn't mean that there might not be hiccups here and there. But I think what makes something a condition is if there are consistent patterns, like you know, when environment or not, maybe your environment can trigger you to express it more, or your environment will not trigger you, but it's there. For example, we have people that have ADHD, right? So sometimes there are two variations of ADHD. There are people who are no hyper, some people who are hyper. Some people are hyper internally, some people are hyper outwardly, in the sense that they're hyper externally. They, you know, for some people who are hyper internally, sometimes it might be that their environment was very strict. They grew up in very strict environments that did not allow them to just play around, that really just expressed it, that helped them to express that, oh, they're really very hyper externally, or that's just the variation of their own ADHD. However, even if the environment did not trigger it, you'll find out that most people are, those people that have ADHD that are hyper internally, they still have the same issues with those that are hyper externally. They cannot concentrate. They are forgetful because their mind is very messy and very overwhelming and busy. They cannot pay attention internally and everything. Though they might look very calm, collected from the from the outside, but their mind is a mess. And you find out that they still share same symptoms with people that are very hyper externally, in the sense that they struggle to read, they struggle to pay attention, they can be forgetful, they lack discipline to do certain things, they lack consistency sometimes. There's so many symptoms that align, even with the person that is hyper externally. You might think that it's that one there's more focus on this kind of people, but they kind of neglect those people that are hyper inwardly. So as long as there is a pattern of consistent patterns, mental health issues or conditions or disorders cannot be boxed. There are different ways. For example, I didn't really struggle in school with because I was 2020 I was diagnosed with ADHD. But I didn't really struggle.
Like professional.
Yes, professional by a psychiatrist. Psychiatrists can only diagnose you. Therapists cannot diagnose you.
Okay.
Psychiatrists are the ones that can
So
diagnose
at the end
you.
of the day, people need to get diagnosed.
Yeah. You cannot just say you are ADHD.
Yeah.
You can think that you are, but you need to validate it. But in this part of the world, it might be tricky. But as long as you know yourself, but this thing is similar to it. They also might have you take some analysis or some tests to really confirm it for you. But yes, psychiatrist is the one that you should go because they are the one that will diagnose you and they can also give you medications. A therapy cannot necessarily give you medications. However, the therapy can refer you to a psychiatrist to get you medications. But in university, I didn't really struggle with sitting down and reading academics. Though I had issues, but it wasn't so expressed as much. But it was when I left school. And I think that school was because they were structured. You knew that, okay, this time for you to read, this time for you to go classes. The life was structured. So the structure helped my spontaneity and the fact that, I could really be disorganized mentally. But leaving school and you being by yourself, you have to be one to take initiative by yourself. I struggled. It was a new space, getting to work, you're having so many deadlines to meet. I struggled. You get what I'm trying to say? So there are different environments that can trigger you to come like, oh, this is how I had this issue or everything. So whatever it is per time, it must be consistent. And for them to be able to give me a diagnosis, they had to get into, they had to ask me a lot of questions when it came to my background. How did I form? Even the issues that I thought I didn't have in school, there were issues that I had in school, in university, that, I just better masked it. I was able to handle it better because, they were structured around me that helped me. But it didn't mean that those issues were not there. They were not existent. But, for you to have a condition, a disorder, or whatever it is, you must have consistent patterns. It must be consistent to whatever disorder it is in whatever condition. And your environment can play, but whatever it is, environmental or non-environment, consistency in the symptoms, the pattern of behavior, all of that is just what makes it a condition disorder.
So just to wrap that up, there is a possibility that if you left school, you continued with a better structure, there is a possibility that you don't get to find out. That's what you are saying.
Well, I feel like it was not necessarily that it's possible for me not to find out. I think the structure that I was even in was still very okay. It could have been worse than that. I think the year that I got to know, I was working in a very fast-paced company, but I was really so much able to navigate it better because of people that were around me. They were very top-tier people. So it helped me navigate it faster. Not faster because it still took time, and it's still currently something that I'm having to navigate every time. But I was able to improve my level of productivity because I have great people working around me or supportive environment. Well, I think that because I think that the intensity can be reduced. But to say that it will be non-existent, so because of a good environment, I don't think personally I don't think that might be true or that might work out, that might pan out that way. I think there might still be hints of it, but albeit it might just be more regulated or more subtle than somebody that is in a very totally wrong environment.
Okay. So thank you. So the last question, because this video is already quite lengthy, but we are learning, we are not complaining, right? All right. So I would want to mention the role that social media is playing in all of this. Briefly talk about how you think we can be better with interaction with social media, because social media is one of the factors that actually triggers and control our emotion. Sometimes we see something because we've seen people that we look up to, or we've made role models out of these people. Consciously or subconsciously, social media influences all of us.
We have that issue. I currently, I still have issues with regulating my social media, but I feel like one of the greatest ways is to, I think, constantly align with your person, constantly align with your being, because sometimes some of the things that we see on social media, we have to understand that it's 1% of people's life. For example, we do get with me, POV, or TikTok videos, where we're showing our routine, but that routine is 1%. All these things are created, and in fact that they are collected, like they are created, they are planned out. So it's not edited, so it's not the it can so and that's when we say that everything is fake. Some people actually, because for example, if I'm ever going to do a day in my life, it's actually what I do already.
Yeah.
It's just that I'm just putting them on in a video for you.
You're not putting when you are falling, when you are tripping.
But it's not like, those things are fake or I don't do them. I do them. They are the core of my routine.
Yes.
But I'm just now showing you out there that this is what I do from a particular angle and everything. I'm just creating it, however. But it's for you to know that it's still created and not the game. And we have different, like, our lives are really very unique and different. And the people who are showing their self on social media, people who have actually gotten to know about themselves, and they've lived their life to an extent that they are confident to show. So you have your own life, right? And you always must know that people have perspectives, and social media is like a marketplace. It's like market square. Especially Twitter. Sometimes I tweet, Twitter. It's like a marketplace where. In a marketplace, physical marketplace, 1,000 people cannot be talking. Like, it will be so noisy and rowdy. But because of social media, we can enter into the thoughts of 1,000 people at every second, every hour, every minute. So like a marketplace, so you must always know that. And these people, they have their own perspective, their mindset, their own life at the in front and at the back of themselves. Like, they have things that have defined how they see things. They are not just coming to put a tweet out. It's just there. It is from their experiences. So if your experiences does not align with those people's experiences, I don't think sometimes you need to personalize it as much. You can personalize it in a way that you then begin to see yourself in that light, because you're not in that light, right? And it's not to say that you cannot be vocal on social media. You cannot say some things you are, because I'm very quite vocal on my social media space. I say some things that I have issues with about society, but it doesn't mean that I then sit with it and I internalize it so much and I personalize so much that it begins to affect me and my mental state of being. I can rant about so many issues at once. It doesn't mean that I internalize it, because there's a barrier in my head, there's a boundary in my mind that's like, these are just social issues though I can be empathetic to the situation, but it's not my life. It's not something that, and again, away from the maybe peer pressure, social media, people are bullying, and this person just got a job, this person is buying whatever it is, this person is using an iPhone, or this person is getting it, maybe a day this person is eating Cold Stone 10 times and all kind of things. Right? You don't know how the person is making their money. Like, your life is different. Like, just day your day and focus on your day. Like, day your day and focus on your own life and just keep it moving. So you can be inspired and influenced, to be influenced and be inspired with the good things. The bad part of
yourself, don't kill yourself because you want to bad.
Because you now want to be perfect, or you think that this person says something I need to change. Change is a journey. So I think at the end of the day, know yourself, put mental, emotional boundaries. You are not other people, you are you. If at the end of the day, no matter what you do, sometimes maybe someone go and buy Lamborghini, and you be like, you are envious, or social media is making you don't have the money to buy it, Abi. So there's nothing you can do to jump to go and get the Lamborghini. So you just have to stay and focus on what you are doing.
Basically, be content.
Just stay your own
with your face.
Just stay with, follow your lane, improve. Do what you need to do. And something about doing what you need to do is that you know personally what you're supposed to do, even without social media telling you. Sometimes there's something that you pick up on social media and that see, do this thing. Like, it keeps on alerting your mind that maybe you should do this book. You personally, we are always led, but probably by intuition, by the Holy Spirit, based on people like us that are Christians and believers, but by nudgings, by discernment, that is what I need to do. So
ideas
will come. So it's not that
even if you have no idea, there is tasks to be done.
There's
Maybe
tasks to
just
be
stand
done.
up and lay your bed first. It could be as easy as that.
So there's always a way our life is being led, whether or not we're even in social media space, that are unique to us. So pay attention to those unique things that call you, things that are on your mind every time, and just shove the rest aside because they're just distractions.
Exactly. That is very straightforward and nice. Before we round up, I want to mention the fact that contentment is important. I don't know, for me, contentment has actually been a part of me that is so key that it helps me, keeps me going. Sometimes when I catch myself wanting to feel bad about where I am because I'm comparing myself. Comparison is a thief of joy, right? So when I catch myself comparing or feeling bad or less of myself, I just pick up myself and be like, what do I have to do? I want to be a better person. I want to be a better version of myself. Sometimes when I catch myself, this person is like me. How is it like me? Are we related? Even my sister said, can't be like her. Like I am me until you realize that you have your own journey. Even if you don't have it all figured out, make sure that you are making best of what you have. That is me. I'm so satisfied with everything I have, even though this is not where I want to be. Like this is not the last of me. I still want to be better than whatever I am right now. If I'm wearing a top, I'm looking at it as the best. When I'm entering a room, I'm looking at myself as very beautiful. I didn't start out this way. At some point, I got better, but now my mindset is so. Like, okay, when I catch myself feeling negative, I'm like, okay, no. Like, if I mess up on something, I'll be like, it can happen to anybody. Don't beat yourself up about it. Even if I'm apologetic and everything, I will still not play myself. So I won't internalize. I won't downplay myself. So that is just what I want to get out there.
And I think I want to also say the one thing about too is that when she started at YouTube, I was like, and her journey so far, I'm like, Chris is such a good executioner. Chris can execute things, or because I also was thinking of maybe starting YouTube, but I've not started it till today. And I don't know when I'm going to start, but one thing about her is that I think I also told her to her face this time is how she's able to be so flint, like a very when an eagle focuses on catching a prey, she's that kind of person. It's just great focus, and it's really wonderful to see. And how she has she's doing this now and she's still doing it. So, and we found that she has a job like being a psychotherapist or whatnot. And also, I'm sorry, physiotherapist. And I'm also doing content creation and makeup artistry also by the side. It's a whole lot, and it's really very wonderful to see such young person doing so much and trying to just be focused on what she's doing.
Thank you so much. I'm shy.
Lord.
Sometimes I beat up myself on things like that. I'm like, okay, I should have done this, I should have done that. Or there are things in my mind that I want to execute.
But you know that just because you're focused, the way you might want to be focused is like 100%. But in fact that you're still focused at 60%. And that 60%, we don't know the measurement you place for yourself. Exactly. But that 60% focus is still focused to us. To people outside, it's still focused because focus is still there.
Exactly. That's one of the things again, because I feel like people we look up to generally, they struggle with this.
So even some of the things that they should do, maybe they want to do something like 100%, but they're doing that it's 60-50. So what, they are doing something, right? So we're not even seeing it, but to them it's like, oh, I'm doing something subpar. This is what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm not doing this. So to us, we're still doing good. We're still doing stuff.
Yeah.
So I mean, yeah,
I understand that. So thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
It means a lot to me.
It means a lot to me too.
Alright, so you guys, if you watch to this part of the video, give me a round of applause. Thank you so much for watching to this point of the video. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. And I think it's quite important that you share with your loved ones as well. Share. You can even save for later to probably rewatch.
And also comment some of the highlights. Yes. Things you love.
Exactly. I was able to there. Yeah. Please, you guys go to the comment section and highlight the most important point for you.
And just
what's with you.
And rate it in the comments. And repeat it in the comments as well. Exactly. Don't forget to give our
thumbs up.
Like,
subscribe to my channel, you guys. subscribe
It's
to
not
my
easy,
channel.
oh. It's not. It's a lot of work. So please help us, help our ministry. Thanks.
Thank you so much. And you can follow on the social media and
My social media handle
on the screen,
OmegaBC,
okay.
OmegaBC throughout Twitter, Instagram,
consistent on
OmegaBC.
each app. Thank you for watching once again, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.